15 mind-blowing facts about Portugal, the country you know nothing about. Number 15. Portugal is literally the westernmost country in mainland Europe, but here's the mind-blowing part most people don't know. It's actually closer to New York City than it is to Moscow. Think about that for a second. While everyone assumes Portugal is just another European country buried deep in the continent, it's actually sitting right on the Atlantic edge, positioned perfectly as Europe's gateway to the Americas. The Azores Islands, which are part of Portugal, are literally in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, closer to Canada than to Lisbon. This geographical positioning has shaped everything about Portuguese culture, from their seafaring history to why they have such strong connections with Brazil and the United States. Number 14. Portugal has two autonomous regions that most people have never heard of, and they're causing some serious political tension. We're talking about the Azores and Madeira Islands. These aren't just vacation spots, they're autonomous regions with their own governments, tax systems, and even their own political parties that sometimes clash with mainland Portugal. The Azores, with their population of just 250,000, have more political autonomy than most US states. They can set their own tax rates, have their own immigration policies, and even issue their own stamps. If you want to know more about these hidden political dynamics that could reshape Portugal's future, comment 15 below. Number 13. Forget everything you think you know about Portuguese women and dating culture, the reality will shock you. Contrary to the stereotype that Southern European women are traditional and conservative, Portuguese women are some of the most independent and career-focused in Europe. Portugal has one of the highest rates of female university graduates in the European Union. 65% of university students are women. The average Portuguese woman doesn't get married until age 30, and 40% of Portuguese women choose to remain single well into their 30s. Dating culture here is completely different from what you'd expect. Women often make the first move, split the bill, and are incredibly direct about what they want. The hookup culture in Lisbon rivals that of Berlin or Amsterdam. Number 12. Portugal has a tradition called Queima das Fitas that makes American college parties look like church gatherings. This is a week-long celebration where university students literally burn their ribbons to celebrate graduation. But here's what happens during this week. Imagine 100,000 students taking over entire cities with 24-hour parties, elaborate parades, and traditions that have been going on for over 700 years. In Coimbra, the entire city shuts down for a week. Students wear black capes, carry guitars, and perform serenades that can last until sunrise. The alcohol consumption during this week is so intense that hospitals actually prepare for it months in advance. What's your wildest college party story? Comment 12 below because I guarantee it doesn't compare to this. Number 11. Portuguese people have a concept called saudade that has no direct translation in any other language, and it explains their entire worldview. Saudade isn't just sadness or nostalgia, it's a deep emotional state of longing for something that's absent, might never return, or might never have existed. It's the feeling of missing someone who's still with you, or yearning for a golden age that might have been imaginary. This concept is so central to Portuguese culture that it influences their music, literature, and even their approach to relationships. You'll hear it in fado music, see it in their art, and feel it in conversations with locals. It's why Portuguese people can seem melancholic even when they're happy. Number 10. The nightlife in Porto starts at 2 a.m. and the city has more bars per capita than any other European city. While tourists are going to bed, locals are just getting started. The famous Rua da Galeria de Paris has over 50 bars in just 4 blocks, and they're all packed until 6 a.m. every single night. But here's the crazy part. Most of these bars are smaller than your bedroom, some fitting only 8 to 10 people. The Portuguese have perfected the art of bar hopping, and it's not unusual to hit 10 to 15 different bars in one night. A beer costs just €1.50, and you can get a full meal for under €8 even in the party districts. Do you think you could handle Portuguese nightlife? Comment 10 below. Number 9. Portugal produces 50% of the world's cork, and this has created one of the most unusual economic monopolies on Earth. The cork oak forests in Portugal are so valuable that they're protected by law. You can't cut down a cork tree without government permission, and some trees are over 200 years old. But here's the shocking part. Portugal's cork industry employs over 30,000 people and generates €700 million annually, making it more profitable per hectare than most wine regions. Every wine bottle you've ever opened probably had Portuguese cork in it. The cork forests are so important that they're considered a national treasure, and some areas are more heavily guarded than military bases. Number 8. Portuguese people take the longest lunch breaks in Europe, and there's a cultural reason that will change how you view work-life balance. The average Portuguese lunch break is 2.5 hours long, and it's not just about eating, it's about convivio, which means socializing and connecting with others. Businesses actually shut down from 12:30 to 3 in the afternoon, and during this time, people go home to eat with their families, take naps, or meet friends. This isn't laziness, it's a cultural value that prioritizes relationships over productivity. Portuguese people live longer and report higher happiness levels than Americans, and many experts credit this extended lunch culture. They've figured out something we haven't about work-life balance. Number 7. Portugal has more than 250 varieties of traditional bread, and there's a law that requires every village to have its own bakery. This isn't just about food, it's about cultural preservation. The Portuguese government actually subsidizes village bakeries to ensure they don't disappear. Each region has its own protected bread recipes, some dating back to the 12th century. The Bró de Milho from the north is completely different from the Bolo do Caco from Madeira. In rural areas, bread is still baked in communal ovens that entire neighborhoods share. If you want to know which Portuguese bread would match your taste preferences, comment 7 below, and I'll help you figure it out. Number 6. Portuguese weddings have a tradition called Copo d'Água that involves the entire village and can last for 3 days. This isn't just a party, it's a community event where everyone in the village contributes something. The bride and groom go door to door asking for donations, not money but ingredients for the wedding feast. One family provides the wine, another the meat, another the desserts. The entire village participates in cooking, decorating, and celebrating. These weddings can have 500 to 1,000 guests, most of whom the couple barely knows, but the community tradition dictates that everyone is welcome. The dancing continues for 3 days straight with live folk music and traditional costumes. Number 5. The Festa de São João in Porto is so intense that the city imports 200,000 plastic hammers specifically for hitting strangers on the head. This is not a joke. During the June festival, it's traditional to hit people on the head with plastic hammers or rub leaks on them. The festival attracts over 1 million people who spend the entire night wandering the streets, hitting each other with hammers, and it's considered good luck. The city literally orders these hammers from China months in advance. People also jump over bonfires, release paper balloons, and eat grilled sardines with their hands. By morning, the streets are covered in hammer fragments and sardine bones. This is Portugal's version of New Year's Eve, but honestly, way more chaotic. Number 4. Portuguese people consume more fish per capita than any other European nation. That's 57 kilograms per person annually. But here's the surprising part. They eat more than 365 different types of fish and seafood. There are Portuguese fish dishes that use species most people have never even heard of. Bacalhau or codfish alone has over 1,000 different traditional recipes. The Portuguese can identify fish by smell, know the exact seasons for different catches, and have cooking methods that are completely unknown outside Portugal. A typical Portuguese person can name 50 different fish species, while the average American can maybe name 10. Fish markets in Portugal are like art galleries. The displays are so elaborate and beautiful that honestly, tourists can't help but take photos. Number 3. Portugal decriminalized all drugs in 2001, and the results completely destroyed every argument prohibitionists make. Drug-related deaths dropped by 80%, HIV infections fell by 95%, and drug-related crime decreased by 50%. Instead of prisons, Portugal invested in treatment centers and social programs. They have mobile units that provide clean needles, medical care, and counseling. The country went from having the highest drug mortality rate in Europe to one of the lowest. Police officers work with social workers instead of arresting addicts. This isn't just progressive policy. It's a complete reimagining of how society deals with addiction, and honestly, it's working better than anyone predicted. Number 2. The Portuguese discovered and named more places on Earth than any other nation in history, and most people have no idea. Brazil, Macau, East Timor, parts of India, Malaysia, Angola, Mozambique. Portuguese explorers literally shaped the modern world map. They established trade routes that connected Asia, Africa, and the Americas for the very first time. The Portuguese language is spoken by 260 million people across 4 continents. They had colonies on every continent except Antarctica. Brazilian Portuguese, Mozambican Portuguese, and European Portuguese are so different, they're almost separate languages. The Portuguese Empire lasted 600 years, longer than the Roman Empire. Yet most people think Spain was the major colonial power. Number 1. The cost of living in Portugal is so low that you can live like royalty on a middle-class American salary. Here are the real numbers that will blow your mind. A one-bedroom apartment in central Lisbon costs €800 per month. That's less than most Americans pay for car insurance. A 3-course meal at a good restaurant costs €15. A monthly metro pass is €40. Coffee is just 70 cents. A bottle of wine costs €3. Healthcare is free for residents. You can get a monthly gym membership for €25. A taxi ride across the city costs €8. Internet and phone service costs €30 per month. If you're making $50,000 a year in the US, you'd need only €25,000 to live the same lifestyle in Portugal. But you'd actually live better because you'd have more vacation time, better work-life balance, and access to free healthcare. But here's the controversial part. Portugal offers a golden visa program where you can get residency by investing just €280,000 in real estate. That's less than a down payment on a house in most American cities, but it gets you European Union citizenship and access to free healthcare for life. So there you have it, 15 facts about Portugal that prove it's nothing like what you expected. This country is hiding in plain sight, offering an incredible quality of life, rich culture, and opportunities that most people never discover. If you found this information valuable, comment 1 below. If you think I missed something important about Portugal, comment 0. And if you're actually considering moving to Portugal after watching this, comment 7. I want to know if this video changed your perspective. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because next week, I'm revealing the 15 most shocking facts about Slovenia that will completely change how you think about Eastern Europe. Trust me, you've never heard these stories before. Thanks for watching, and remember, the world is full of incredible places you know nothing about. Portugal might just be your next adventure.